Welcome to the English and Chinese news bulletins on Dong Extension Television channel. The Prime Minister has signed Decision Number 752, dated April 11, 2025, to reorganize the members of the State Steering Committee for key national projects and crucial projects in the transportation sector. According to this decision, the head of the steering committee is Mr. Phạm Minh Chính, a member of Politburo and the Prime Minister. These decisions took effect yesterday, April 11, 2025. According to the decision, the steering committee is tasked with researching and proposing to the government and the Prime Minister directions and solutions to tackle critical inter-sector issues. The aim is to speed up the progress of these key projects. Furthermore, the committee will assist the government and the Prime Minister in directing, inspecting, coordinating, and urging relevant ministries, sectors, and localities to carry out their responsibilities in the investment and construction of these projects. This ensures they align with the resolutions set forth by the National Assembly and the government for these projects. The steering committee will also help guide the implementation of the projects following the regulations. It will direct relevant ministries, sectors, and localities to oversee and push project owners, consultants, and contractors to fulfill their assigned tasks as outlined in the investment policies and approval decisions for each project. This is on guarantees construction progress and project quality. Statistics from the Ministry of Finance indicate a positive economic recovery in the first quarter of 2025, with a GDP growth of 6.93% compared to last year. This first quarter GDP growth is slightly lower than the 7.55% recorded in the fourth quarter of 2024. It's worth noting that this first quarter GDP growth of 6.93 is lower than the full-year GDP growth target of 8%. This puts significant pressures on the following quarters, especially given the volatile global situation and trade tensions arising from U.S. tariff policies. Furthermore, according to the Ministries of Finance statistics, the estimated disbursement of public investment capital from the beginning of the year to March 31st was 78,712 billion VND, reaching only 9.98% of the planned amount and 9.53% of the target set by the Prime Minister. In the first 3 months of the year, many ministries, central agencies, and localities have not yet disbursed any funds. Specifically, 17 ministries and central agencies has been zero disbursement, while 16 ministries, central agencies, and 6 localities have disbursed less than 5% of their allocated funds. Given this urgent situation, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had recently instructed all ministries, central agencies, and localities to accelerate the disbursement of public investment capital for 2025, emphasizing that this is a top political priority requiring their utmost focus. According to the Vietnam Fruits and Vegetable Association, Vietnamese fruits are now exported to nearly 50 countries and territories. However, exports are still heavily reliant on the Chinese market. Specifically, in 2024, Vietnam fresh fruit exports in China reached over 4.6 billion USD, marking up almost 65% of the country's total fresh fruit export value. Notably, durian exports to China accounted for over 95% of the total, indicating a significant over-resilience on the single high-risk market. Looking ahead to 2025, Vietnam fresh food exports are predicted to face numerous challenges and difficulties. This is partly due to evolving import policies and increasingly stringent technical barriers in the countries worldwide. Here in Dong Nai, the area dedicated to fruit cultivations had rapidly expanded in recent years, particularly for bananas, durian, and pomelos. The province now has nearly 81,800 hectares, an increase of several thousand hectares compared to 2020. The Dong Nai Department of Agriculture and Rural Development had issued Decision Number 245, establishing an inter-sector inspection team. This team will investigate illegal slaughtering activities and the transportation and trading of animals and animal products that do not meet veterinary hygiene and the food safety standards within the province. So this inspection teams in Dong Nai is focused on cracking down on any illegal activity involving animals and animal products. The main goal is to strictly handle everyone caught transporting, trading, or selling animals and their products that don't meet veterinary hygiene and food safety standards right here in the province. They also want to stop the illegal cross-border trade of poultry and poultry products into Vietnam. This initiative aims to strengthen government oversight of veterinary practices, food safety, and ultimately protect customer health. The inspections will target organizations and individuals involved in unauthorized slaughtering, as well as those transporting and selling animals and animal products that aren't up to the par of the hygiene and safety within Dong Nai. The checks will be ongoing from now until the end of 2025. Specifically, December 31st, the inspection team will provide quarterly reports on their findings to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Since the beginning of the year, live hogs prices in the markets have been steadily increasing, bringing significant profits to farmers. However, experienced farm owners advise caution when considering herd restocking or expansion. They emphasize that farmers should align their decisions with market conditions rather than simply chasing prices, and that prioritizing disease prevention and control for their pig herds is crucial. Our report comes from Long Han District, a key area for hog farming here in Dong Nai. Mr. Dương Công Hai's pig farm in Hành Bình Hamlet, Lộc An Commune, he consistently praises between 400 and 500 pigs. Unrest from his sounds, even though leasehold prices has been climbing steadily since the start of the year, bringing a profit of 1 to 1.5 million VND per 100 kilograms of leaf weight. Mr. Hai isn't expanding his pig pens or increasing his herd. Mr. Dương Công Hai, the owner of that big farm in the Hành Bình Hamlet, Lộc An Commune, said, before the Lunar New Year, leasehold prices were around 68,000 to 70,000 VND per kilogram. After the holiday, the price jumped to 80,000 VND per kilogram for about a month before dropping again. Currently, it's hovering around 70,000 to 72,000 VND per kilogram. If it were to increase to the herd size, it would be difficult to control diseases, so I'm not expanding. While large-scale pig farmers like Mr. Hai are hesitant to expand their herds due to concerns about oversupply, smaller-scale farmers face even greater risk if they increase their pig numbers. This is because many of these smaller operations rely on borrowed capital for their farming. Mr. Võ Hữu Hoi, another pig farmer in Hành Bình Hamlet, Lộc An Commune, shared, when the seasons change, pigs are naturally susceptible to some dangerous disease like pneumonia and diarrhea, which happen quite often. African swine fever is a particular concern. So first and foremost, we have to keep the pig pens clean. Secondly, it's crucial to have full vaccinations. Everyone coming in or out of the farms as well as vehicles must be disinfected. Mr. Bùi Minh Hiếu, chairman of the Farmers Association of Long An Commune, explained, locally, we have advised farmers not to rush into increasing their herds just because leasehold prices are rising. If too many pigs are raised, it will lead to oversupplying and then selling prices will fall again, putting our farmers in a difficult situation. Also, a sudden increase in the number of the pig raised would make it harder to strictly control diseases, making outbreaks and spread within the herds more likely.